Hi guys, Forgotten Wolf here, and this is my mock draft. We're back at it again. I'm going to mock draft post Super Bowl edition. So let's start the draft. First off, Fernando Mendoza, obviously going to the Raiders. That's pretty obvious. Arvell Reese is next. I am going to the Jets. This has been a fairly common mock, but I mean, Reese is very, very good. It's hard not to see why. I don't know why PFF hates Francis Mayuga, but he is in fact the pick here. He is very good at a position of dire need for the Cardinals, really. I could see it being Jeremiah Love, but you don't see running backs getting taken that high. I mean, obviously Bijan and Jameer Gibbs were, but those are kind of an exception. Titans at 4. Since Robert Saleh was hired as the Titans head coach, I feel like the very common pick has been Ruben Bain. He's one of the best edge rushers, if not the best edge rusher in the class. So it's a very obvious pick. Even though the Titans could use help at receiver, it's a very deep class there. At number 5, John Harbaugh and the Giants. Now, John Harbaugh doesn't really pick receivers in the first round. Obviously, he picks Zay Flowers and Hollywood Brown, but those are like the only two I can think of. So, a tackle here just feels like a John Harbaugh pick. Spencer Fano to the Giants, another position of real need. No corners at the top of the draft, so yeah. Browns at 6 here, and this is going to be pretty obvious. It's a receiver. Carnell Tate is my pick here. I think he's the best one available. Yeah, I got if a tackle drops, I could see it, but obviously both the two tackles off the board. Now the Commanders at 7. You could go Caleb Downs here, but I'm going David Bailey, edge rusher at Texas Tech, another really good edge rusher, hard to pass up here. Now the Saints at the clock at 8. I'm gonna go Jordan Tyson here. Tyson, I know he's got injury concerns. He's very, very good, and Tyler Shuck does need more help on the offense, especially with Chris Olave's frequent injuries and Alvin Kamara probably leaving the offseason. And the Chiefs at 9, very obvious. Jeremiah Love, Mahomes tore his ACL. No tackles available here, so it seems like a very, very obvious get Mahomes someone to help him when he comes back from his injury. Jeremiah Love. At 10, Caleb Downs, best available defensive player available left, and the Bengals desperately need help in the secondary badly, and it's a match made in heaven. Um, Moving on to 11, it's going to be Mansour Delane to the Dolphins. Although if Tyreek Hill gets traded, this could be Makai Lemon, but I have it being Mansour Delane as the Dolphins are at a very dire need at corner. And obviously Mendoza's gone. Ty Simpson won't go at 11. Mansour Delane is a very obvious pick. Like this next pick, Sonny Styles to the Cowboys, another very obvious pick because this is such a Cowboys pick. Uh, Moving on, 13, the Rams. I am going Jermod McCoy. I know he didn't play this season, but Jermod McCoy just fills a natural need of corner for the Rams. It's arguably their biggest need outside of tackle since Rob Havenstein just retired. Ravens at 14. This is another fairly obvious pick, I would say. Olavia Vega, Iona to Penn State. This is another Dolphins. The Ravens need a help at receiver badly. Not receiver, guard badly. So yeah, it's a very obvious pick. You also protect Lamar Jackson. I wouldn't rule out Peter Woods here, but I feel like guard is more of a need. Buccaneers at 15. This could be a trade down spot, but there is for me a very obvious pick in Cassius Howell, edge rusher at Texas A&M. Bucks need an edge rusher badly, and Cassius Howell. They could be Keldrick Falk, but I just prefer Cassius Howell to him. I think he could go a lot earlier. I think he could go maybe to the Ravens or the Cowboys if Sonny Styles is off the board here. But yeah, I like Cassius Howell a lot. The Jets at 16, they needed a receiver. They pass up one for Alvarez, and it works perfectly where Makai Lemon falls into their laps at 16. It is a very good pick for them. 17, the Lions, they desperately need help at tackle. The two tackles gone, but Caden Proctor, Caleb Bloom, Monroe Freeling are all still here. I'm going Caden Proctor to the Lions. It's a bit of a reach, but the Lions desperately need help there. I could also see Peter Woods or Avion Terrell. Speaking of Avion Terrell, he is my pick at 18. Vikings established need in the secondary really, really badly. And Avion Terrell, if you're looking at the board here, is the last really good corner for a while outside of Brandon Kissy. Panthers at 19. I could see a receiver here, but there's just a Peter Woods has fallen into their lap, and it's at a position of need, defensive line. It's almost a match made in heaven. You get Peter Woods and Derek Brown on the defensive line on the front seven and the interior. That's going to be a nightmare for defenses to deal with. Kind of like the Eagles with Jalen Carter, Moro Jomo, and uh, Jordan Davis. Sorry, I couldn't think of him. The Cowboys again at 20. You pick Sonny Styles at linebacker. So you got your other biggest need, edge rusher Keldrick Falk falls straight into your lap out of Auburn. It's perfect for them really. You get your two biggest needs. That's at a running back because Javonte Williams is realistically probably leaving, but I mean Jeremiah Love is already gone. So yeah. Moving to 21 now, Denzel Boston to the Steelers could be an option, but that is not going to be my pick. Because although there have been rumors of those Steelers liking Malik Willis in free agency, Mike McCarthy loves to have a really good quarterback in there, and Ty Simpson is the only other one that could really go in the first round. With Aaron Rodgers probably headed towards retirement, this seems like it's going to be the pick here. If Malik Willis does sign, this is Denzel Boston, but yeah, that's for another video. Moving on to the Chargers, I think the top target here definitely would have been Olavia Vega Ione at Penn State, but he is gone. So realistically, I mean, right now Khalil Mack, you don't know if he's going to be on the roster. So that's why I'm picking another defensive lineman on the. Or, I know Mack is technically an edge rusher, but still someone who can get after the quarterback. Caleb Banks out of Florida. You go to Jim Harbaugh, which is just a perfect for any defensive player. The Chargers have had a really good defense and hopefully Banks can stay healthy, unlike the majority of the Chargers last season. Eagles at 23. I'm torn here. You could go Denzel Boston, but A.J. Brown probably not going to be traded. Kenyon Sadiq here to replace Dallas Goedert. But my pick is, I know as an Eagles fan in the draft, I'd be mad at this, but Michael Carter probably going to be cut. Kelee Ringo was not good this year. You desperately need help at corner to partner Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. So Brandon Kissy, the last first round corner, is off the board here. It's a pretty dire. I don't want to say dire need for the Eagles. I could also see offensive tackle here, since Lane Johnson might be headed towards retirement, and I could also see interior offensive line. But yeah, I want Brandon Kissy. Browns at 24. You got your receiver in Carnell Tate. Now also give Shedeur the full keys by picking Caleb Lomu to protect him. You get no excuses for Shedeur this season. Chicago Bears at 25. Everyone's been saying this, but there's one hole for the Bears, and that's interior defensive line, and Caden McDonald fills that role as a defensive lineman. Moving on to the Bills at 26, they desperately need help at receiver. Denzel Boston's fallen right into their laps here. Niners, Brandon Ayuk out. Whoever they picked in 2023, I forget his name. I'm not a huge fan of. Juwan Jennings has dealt with injuries this year. I think Casey Concepcion, he should fill that receiver role nicely. And now the Texans, you could go running back, but as you can see, not really anyone available. So yeah, interior offensive line, not even anyone available. And yeah, you just need help on the offensive line in general. So I'm gonna go Monroe Feeling. I mean, for me, he works the best because the Texans desperately need help everywhere. Now the Rams, I'm not doing a trade this mock draft, so I'm gonna go Emmanuel Pregnon guarded to Oregon. Maybe you can shift someone to tackle. Rams could use some help on the offensive line, obviously. You can kick someone out the tackle. Obviously, Monroe Feeling, your top target here, but the Texans got him. So, yeah. And now the Broncos at 30. You could go C.J. Allen here, but I think Kenyon Sadiq is a really good player, and the Broncos need tight end. This is a match made in heaven, really. And two back-to-back Oregon players, which is funny. And now for the Patriots at 31, after losing the Super Bowl, the Seahawks buried them in sacks, so kind of take a page of their book. They buried Drake May, although no corners are available. TJ Parker is the best edge rusher available. And finally, the last pick of the first round, C.J. Allen is going to be the pick here, linebacker out of Georgia. That's fairly obvious, I think. Now, yeah, I think I'm very happy with this mock draft. Of course, I think out of everyone, if I was doing trades, I could see a trade down with maybe the Bengals just because they're the Bengals. Cowboys, I could see them. The Ravens, I could see them. The Bucks, but yeah. Yeah, I think I'm extremely confident in this top six. The Commanders is where it gets I'm a bit questionable over. I flipped between David Bailey and Caleb Downs, and then another. I feel confident 8 and 9. Well, that's gonna be it from me. Thank you guys so much for 100K views on the channel, and at 1K likes, I'll do a video on the life of Robert Baratheon. And until next time, bye.